guys, welcome back to the Box Pod. We hope you enjoyed our first episode. We really enjoyed making it. Shauna, how does it feel to be back?
Oh no, it was good. Really proud of the first one.
Yeah.
Just getting going, really. But how have you been? It's been a week, a long time.
No, I've been pretty good. I've probably been a bit better than some of the All Blacks fans this week. I've been glowing actually,
Yeah, I was mentioning like Kurt Arendse is Colby's replacement quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also been just cracking on with work.
Yeah. We're both at uni, so it's that's part of the lifestyle still. But we're really keen to keep making this and just improve our level as much as possible.
Yeah, this isn't affecting our marks at all.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so last time on the Box Pod, we kind of just needed to lay down a foundation for our first video. So we went into mainly just team analysis. But the purpose of what we're trying to do here at the Box Pod is to have a bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
So with the goal of finding a good balance between team analysis, predictions, but also having a bit of banter on the side, and just chatting a bit of nonsense.
We just want to make it feel like you're chatting with your mates about rugby and just chatting about your favorite players and also learning a bit. Yeah. So let's get into the intro.
3212. Shauna, the Box Pod is starting.
This is the Box Pod.
Okay, so we're going into the second week of the Rugby Championship now. Obviously, the first week was amazing. The team has been released for this week, but let's first just talk about that first match. Both matches actually, but we'll just go into the All Blacks versus South Africa first. Yeah.
So All Blacks South Africa, what was the one thing you took from that SA game?
I took the fact that I am going to get $50 from you based on your prediction of a draw.
Did I beat you on the Australia bit?
we didn't upload that video.
Oh, no.
It doesn't count. Okay,
Can I pay you next week?
We'll see how. But anyways, I think the thing that really stood out was just how dominant we were. I think our defense completely smothered them.
Yeah. And
it just looked like the All Blacks. I know Foster said they improved and people laughed at that, but looking at the Irish, how they played against the Irish, I thought they were more intense and they looked very up for it. I just think they came up against the best side in the world, and I think genuinely when it comes to physicality and just completely crushing aside us and the French are on a different level. I think as good as Ireland are, I think we will do something to Ireland.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I mean, everyone I've spoken to this last week, one thing that they're getting wrong about what they say about the game is they say that New Zealand didn't pitch up.
No,
they say New Zealand didn't arrive at the game. They didn't have any chances. They didn't make guys. We didn't give them any chance. With the pressure we put on Bowden Barrett and their backline,
exactly,
they had no time to make any decisions whatsoever. Obviously, this is what SA Rugby has been trying to do the whole time. For a few years, we've been hesitant on the rush defense. Obviously, won a World Cup and a British Lions series with it. But now, we haven't seen an intensity like that.
No, to be honest, I think that when we won the Rugby World Cup, we reached the level we want to be. Our fitness was there. Our team's understanding of the defense was there. We just reached our peak, and then that's why we were all so excited about 2020 because we knew our team was unbelievably good. But then COVID happened. I mean, the Stormers and Sharks were dominant in Super Rugby. The Stormers beat Hurricanes, I think 31-0 or something. In that year in 2020, our sides were looking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. The Sharks lost a lot of players under Estes and a lot of guys, and we had to rebuild again.
Yeah.
Didn't play Test rugby. Our guys' fitness went out the window a bit. So last year we couldn't reach the levels we wanted to, but I genuinely think our fitness and stuff is up there now to play that game again.
Has URC contributed to that?
I think it has. I mean, we're not playing against the New Zealand sides who are more to do with just pure skill, where we're playing against Irish sides and Welsh sides and all those sides that are based on coaching and structure and we struggled when we went over there at first because our core skills maybe weren't there, and now we realized the more we played against the Irish sides, we learned from them. I think we learned how good their coaching is, and our players started also upskilling themselves.
Yeah.
So I think us being out of Super Rugby is a good thing because our players have upskilled themselves because they've learned from the Irish and those sides that are better coached than I think the Kiwi sides are.
Yeah, but we didn't leave Super Rugby to ditch New Zealand and Australia. We left because, I mean, over the last 5 years, the fan numbers in stadiums has just been dwindling down to Curry Cup nowadays is like you don't even flip and watch it on TV that much, which is very sad because it's like one of the most traditional, like tough, gritty competitions in the world. But you don't see much of it. But what now UFC has done is we've gone overseas playing in new stadiums, new teams, new styles of play that we're playing up against. And like look at what happened on Saturday with the how we absolutely dominated in the aerial battle and the kicking as well. Like I know in the Wales series our kicking wasn't the best with Faf, but just this last game you could see how far behind New Zealand is in terms of the aerial battle. Like even though they've got Geordie, my Pimpy was jumping over him. I mean the last thing with Orange were terrible, but you could see our dominance was there. And if we are dominating set piece, rucks, and aerial, you can't actually beat us.
I honestly think though that we with Rassi and Nino Burr, like we have unreal coaches that they have such a good game plan and they understand what wins Test match rugby, and we had just built our side up to the level that they wanted them. I mean, they got the side about now for the Kiwi fans that want Foster out. This is around the time that the Rassi and them took over. They managed to win the World Cup, but it took them time. I mean, our 2018 record wasn't good. 2019 we were brilliant. I mean, we had a few slip ups against New Zealand in the World Cup opener, but after that we didn't look like any side was going to beat us. I felt so confident in every match because you could just see the players, our game plan. Our players finally were good enough to play our game plan. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now we're there again, fitness wise and skill wise.
But I mean, to stick to a game plan, to be able to execute a game plan consistently is completely another thing to being able to execute a game plan. That's why you were saying with Shark Ninobe now here, believe it or not, he's a physiotherapist. The fact that he's coaching the Springboks, all of a sudden you're not seeing as many injuries. Guys are extremely fit and they're maintaining their fitness level. So what that means going into a game is, you can implement the same game plan and you know what to expect from your players because they've got the same energy, the same, they don't have any niggles that they're worried about. I mean, you hear that a lot about in like Australia, Argentina games where he's playing with an injury, like he's like Quaid just came back and he's been pushed in and now he relapsed on another injury.
And it was his injury wasn't even someone tackled him or anything. It was just he stepped and something went.
So game management and player management.
I think that fits into the fact that Marks is on the bench this weekend because after that monstrous effort that he put out against All Blacks on Saturday, I would think it'll be hard to replicate that. But put the guy on the bench, give him 40 instead of 50 in the second half, and he'll be able to play with that same intensity again. And I think that's why our bomb squad has given our players a lot of rejuvenation that we didn't have in previous years, like the 6-2 split. Although later I want to just talk about our centres. I think they do need a bit of rest eventually because
they've been fit.
Because I think Esterhazy needs to come in and get a few shots. Or
Front Stain maybe, but
I don't think that, because like we saw last year against Australia, our centres were dominated a bit by Karevi and Ikitau, and I 100% think it's just because they had to play every game against the British and Irish Lions. I think even in the SAA game, was involved, so it's a tough ask to just play Dialendi and in every match.
I think you'll see a bit of rotation after this week because this week, like part of you need experience to finish off to win a series against New Zealand. That's why probably main reason Vermeulen's been brought in.
Yeah.
But then again, Vermeulen won't be at the back end of the game because he's not going to last 80.
I would, to be honest, I don't know how Vermeulen's going to last 40 because I don't know if anyone watched Ulster this year, but Vermeulen's, I don't know how much fitness he was doing that side. I think they were telling him, please Dwayne, just do some fitness. We're paying you so much, and he was like do me fitness. Yeah, I mean the story that what's his name, that the Bristol prop Max Legee for what's his name, but he was just talking about how they were playing Toulon the next day when Dwayne was still at Toulon, and next minute they see Dwayne from Yellen. He's playing the next day. He's sitting in the bar just down. So I don't know when he's in South Africa and he's the Springbok coaches can keep an eye on him. But when he's at Ulster, I mean I don't know what's happening that side. You know the Irish like to drink, so
yeah.
But
Old Dwayne, yes, no, but I'm keen to see what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as long as I see like 40 minutes of intense, good old informed Dwayne Vermeulen,
yeah.
I think he would have done his job. And that's what the coach was expecting.
I wouldn't be comfortable with Marks not starting if Dwayne wasn't there because Marks destroyed the All Blacks attack by killing their rucks and by making steals. And I don't think he has a good counter rucker. Peter Steff doesn't really focus on rucks or stealing, and our locks aren't really big poachers. And Trevor is also out, who's a bit of a fetcher when he plays, but Ox isn't really a fetcher. And Mel Hadber is more of a line runner.
Yeah, full on inside centre, crash ball option.
We're gonna need someone to make steals, and I think Dwayne is that guy.
And then later on, Marks will come on and replace that, maybe fill that role.
And then Kitself also comes on, and then it's just the All Blacks won't know what to do.
Yeah, so maybe there's a link there between, I mean, yes,
that's why I think Jasper is
on the
not
bench.
starting.
Yeah, like when have we ever looked at a team that doesn't start their best hooker because their best number 8 is playing?
Yeah.
Their games, like they're both brilliant players, but to balance out a full 80, this Springbok team is so revolutionary.
It's purely based on results. It's not based on we want this guy to start. And I know in that team they don't care about who starts. They know it doesn't mean you're a better player than the guy on the bench. Whereas in other teams, the players will still feel that. Whereas in this team, everyone knows about the bomb squad. Everyone knows what the impact is they make. It's just the rest of the world that tend to. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, Marks, a few years ago he was the best," but not anymore. Just watch Marks come off the bench in every single match. He makes steals. He does the exact same thing he did Saturday,
except the second half of the game.
Except the second half of the game, and it's mixed in with other oaks like Kitself who also do that. So then he gets overshadowed a bit. But
absolutely,
So do you want to talk a bit about some of the top players from Saturday?
I think an underappreciated player from Saturday was Peter Steff. We didn't see him hitting the rucks, like he doesn't normally do that, but the pressure he put on the fly halves.
It was a classic Peter Steff.
He was an absolute menace. It was really good to watch, and it's good to see him at full fitness. Like seeing a 6'7" blonde player running at you with all of the Stellenbosch wine vineyards behind him. He's gonna cause some problems. Very glad to see him back. And then Jasper, also underappreciated. I mean, if you had to sum up his game, he bumped off Sam Cane he wasn't even there a few times.
It was beautiful to see.
And that ankle tap on Will Jordan was, I think, crucial because Will Jordan's going to put a chip in if he's through against.
I think Will Jordan has more pace than Willem. So obviously, Will Jordan's one of the quickest players in the world. So and we saw against the Irish. He made that gap. He made that break in their own 22, I think, against the Irish, and he was gone against the Kiwi wings. So
and he paced the formidable Johnny Sexton. But another thing, Drew, how well did Jaden Hendrickson come on for Fafe?
That was unreal. I mean,
it was like
my heart just dropped when Faf went down, I was like, I have faith in Jaden, but I really wanted to see Faf have a go at his home stadium. You could see he was fired up. I think he would have had a brilliant game if he played. Honestly, I think it would have been like one of those performances similar to Mark's.
I hope so. But I'm going to say something a bit controversial now.
Yeah.
Faf has not been in a position like this where someone has taken his Springbok spot. You know, it's Kuba's Reina.
Except Ross Cronje in 2017. I don't know what else to say.
Let's not go down that road. But he hasn't been in this position, and Jacques Nienaber called it after he started Jaden Hendrickson for the second and third test against Wales. He said Faf is going to come out firing. He's going to want his spot back.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think that's go
on. So the thing I'm going to say is, I think he would have outplayed himself. I'm not saying it's a blessing in disguise, but he would have come out wanting to create things to get his spot back because he hates. He's a Jack Russell. He hates not being number one.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying it's blessing in disguise, but the fact that just look at that first minute. I mean, it took 40 seconds for him to concuss himself. When I put it like that,
it wasn't going to happen then. It was going to happen at some point.
Exactly. But like you could see, that is the good old Faf. But he needs to, he needed to hold back a bit. He had to play a full 80. He needed to build himself into the game like normal scrum masters.
To be honest, I'm gonna disagree with you because I've watched Faf play for Sale Sharks and I've seen him in the big games, and especially against the French teams. I don't know if you've ever seen Camille Chat. But his neck is bigger than Faf's whole body. And he ran at Faf twice, full pace, and Faf absolutely monstered him. And that was just out of pure Jack Russell, going crazy, whereas another number 9 would just try and get him down. You know what I mean? So Faf is a double-edged sword. He's going to probably knock himself out every now and then, and leave the team in a bit of a pickle. But when he plays his best, I mean, if he made that tackle, he would have been up, would have been back for the kick. Because if they kicked it over, you know what I mean? Because he reads the game so well. He knew what they were going to do. That's why he made 2 tackles in a row. Because he reads it so well.
Look, the thing is, we didn't see what he could have done.
Exactly.
But there was just that thought in my head of if he outplays his own skill. Because sometimes you see that.
Especially if our attack wasn't going somewhere or something.
And then forcing stuff.
Because people talk about how he's just why is Faf kicking all the time? Herschel should be playing. But do you think, has anyone watched Faf play for the Lions back in the day? How many box kicks did he put up? He's an attacker.
Front foot.
He's one of the. I've never seen someone go into pick it up, pass it as quickly as him, or pick it up and make a break and then set someone up as quick as him. If you watch, whenever a team's on the front foot, when they're trying to play attacking rugby, I mean, when we were behind against Wales and we had to play some rugby, actually, Faf looked like the most insane scrum off in the world. Do I think that Jaden could be better than him for the Springboks? He could be. I mean, his kicking was pinpoint. He just looks so calm. He's very similar to in that sense that he just doesn't look phased at all. But
yeah, absolutely. On to Pollard, eh? You're seeing the Pollard from 2019 again. I think he hasn't missed a kick in 2 games now. And just talking about his open play kicking. It's pinpoint this last weekend. I mean, that try that Orange scored, that kick could not have been more perfect.
No, he definitely worked on that post the Wales series because he did have a few skew kicks.
If it wasn't for line-out judges, he'd be the best best player in the world.
I don't know what that line-out judge was thinking.
Watching the kick.
We won't repeat what Pollard was saying under his breath there.
It's kid friendly.
But I think Pollard, like you say, he's reaching that 2019 form. But Pollard also, he's a big game player.
Absolutely.
His whole career, whenever it's the big game, boom, he doesn't miss a kick.
BMT.
And it's this. In the lead up in the pool stages of the World Cup in 2019, he was missing a few kicks. I can't remember if he missed against Japan, but when it came to the semi-final and the final, he he didn't miss a kick. I think he might have missed for one or something in both those matches. And he was kicking them from the corners everywhere.
When
Drop goals like on Saturday.
when he's getting you max points, you know he's in form.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah, but like it's almost like the kicking resembles his actual gameplay performance. Like
Yeah.
you know, you don't really see him playing amazingly well in missing kicks. You know, you see both at the same time.
Yeah, when he's confident, he looks like the best fly in the world. Like obviously a very different fly from your Richie Mwanga or your Bowden Barrett, but I mean, when he's on form, I would pick him for any side.
Yeah. And Lucanio also the weekend, just how composed is the man, eh?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All I can think about is that pass off the floor. Like it's so beautiful. It's unreal.
But like, it's not. He was like he. Okay, take it from his perspective. He just got tackled. He doesn't know where anyone is. He just looked up and saw this green Ches and Colby Lawrence on his left, and like popped it, but not at him, in front of him, at the perfect like.
So he can run onto it full pace.
Yeah, I mean, if that was at him and he caught it behind Bowden, I would have tackled him.
Literally.
And luckily, brilliant positioning from Kirkley. And I mean, Kirkley technically won the catch as well.
Yeah.
But you know, the little things you see from in a game, you like guys watch for about 10 minutes of defensive play. You'll see like this guy is so far ahead. He's one step ahead every single time. I mean, there was one turnover Malcolm Marks had where he just kind of positioned himself, not in an illegal position because the ref didn't call it, so it's not illegal. Kind of just positioned himself to interrupt the player who was about to clear out Marks. Marks gets all the credit. Like, facts, no, listen, Marks, great, brilliant. Like, yes, what the turnovers on the weekend, holy moly.
Marks turnover must be.
Yeah,
you played well.
Sorry, sir. But, Lucanio, just the impact he had, and then just the linking with the teammates as well. Like, that off the ball kind of stuff, defensive organization was beautiful. Yeah. And he even got himself a turnover just to cap it off.
No, definitely. I mean, one of the most insane moments that had us on our feet, you know, giving each other high fives, was when he threw Caleb Clark into touch. Like, it was just so. It was such a power move.
And then he got up.
It was just like,
then he got up and just like chewing his bubble gum and just walking away.
It's like, how bad could you feel? Because Caleb Clark was brought in as this he's like the next up. Yeah, we know he's good. We know he's physical. But to do that to do that to him, like just throw him into touch.
And then act like it was normal. Yeah, like he normally does it. Yes,
that's unreal.
But talking about the guy Caleb Clark came up against, Kirtley.
Yes. What an unfortunate end to what a brilliant game from him. People are saying obviously that he's the next Cheslin or that he's a carbon copy, and I mean when you look at the fact that in his second game for the Springboks was against the All Blacks, the same with Cheslin. Previous week he made his debut against Australia. Next week he played against the All Blacks. Both scored their first try for the Springboks against the All Blacks. It's a bit weird actually to be honest.
But like I take this as Kirtley's real debut. Yeah. You know, like this is, remember when the Yankees came to the scene and the amazing debut he has. Like this Kirtley Arendse performance almost matches that or takes to the next.
It's the first time he's playing with the settled Bok team as well. Last time he was playing with a side that had the Bok jersey on, but they were all people from all over that had been pushed together. Not the main Oaks that usually play. Not that they're not as good, but they were. It's a bit like a Lions for that first match where when you're playing against a club side or something, it's just a bunch of players that have come together that don't really know each other that well, and you can't show what you can really do.
So I mean, with the youngster, you need someone stable, on his inside to set him up to keep his head. Yeah, absolutely. And then how was that aerial dominance from Mapimpi? Yes, I swear he jumps higher than like LeBron James.
I know. He could have been a decent basketball player.
He puts the spring in the Springbok. I've been waiting for that one.
It's a good dad joke.
I wrote that one down last night.
I could tell you were just waiting for that one.
You're supposed to laugh. Make it sound
It's fine, the viewers will laugh at you. It's fine. We'll get the laughs, don't worry. He's just such an underrated player. I mean, when people talk about Springbok wings, the first name that comes up is Cheslin. But when you talk about what makes the Springboks win, that aerial battle. Also, I mean, Mapipi's got the skills as well and connects so well with always when we do play a bit more running rugby.
Yeah.
Like, just such a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last we've already talked about Caleb Clark being thrown into touch, but how about him being run down and being tackled from behind? Brilliant by Willem.
Did you hear the New Zealand commentary on that run?
No, I actually want to hear it.
He broke line and they were screaming, go, and then can he get there? And he turns left and it looks like he's about to pace Willemse, and then the commentator goes, yes he can, yes, and then Willemse reels him. And then they're like, oh, no he can't. Yeah, but you see even all the New Zealand social media rugby pages,
they cut
it off.
Yeah. It's like, wow, how about this run from Caleb Clark? And this is just like, oh, but it's weird. There's like this weird snippet before Brazil
all
goes
of a sudden
when nothing happens.
When he's lying on the floor.
You just see Brazil going over for the try. You don't see anything else. It's like, when did he pass to Brazil? I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's another guy who's just settling into that fullback.
Yeah, he looks so good. I mean, I think, you know what when people were talking so much about our game plan, and then the coaches are saying, well, we give the players freedom as well to do what they want, and we were like, oh, do they really? But Willemse is showing, yeah, they do. I mean, he's deciding, okay, I want to do a quick throw now, boom, let's go. In the beginning of the game, they were so against our game plan to do quick throws, but he was doing that because he reads the game so well as well, and he was just putting the All Blacks under pressure, keeping them in their 22. They make a nice clearance, boop, pass it straight out. Usually, a lot of teams would do that, would pop it straight in if to run it up. But we would usually say, okay, no, let's set a maul there. But so the freedom is there from the players at times to do it.
He's one thing I really like about Damien Willemse is he's brought this new ambitious attitude into the Springboks that we haven't had in a while, because we used to very Willie Leroux. He's not a conventional fullback, but he's a very safe fullback. You know, if you look at the best fullbacks in South African history, Percy Montgomery, Andre Hubert, Zane Kirshner, those guys are very safe. You know, they didn't try things because they knew fullback position you can't try things unless you know you're gonna get the best out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, just perfect example for him on Saturday was he received that massive punt from Jordy Barrett off his own 22, caught it in his 22, and then went for the 50-22 across the field. Yeah. So, you would never see a like Willie doing that. Yeah. But now what the Springboks need to adjust to is that ambitious play that he has. Yeah. He should not be told to not do that, because, I mean, look at the counter that Beauden Barrett caused off that kick. Yeah. I mean, that's just, the wrong bounce.
I think, honestly, that was just a bit of a rookie error from Willemse to overchase that. Otherwise, it was a brilliant. He would have tackled him in the try line. Yeah, look, just slowed down a bit.
What I'm saying is, it's not a rookie error.
No, I'm saying the kick and the ambition was the right thing. Yeah. But once he saw Beauden tap it in, he should have just slowed himself down a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only rookie error that I'm talking about.
Okay.
The ambition, I love, really, to go for that.
But Springboks need to I mean, the last time someone did that for the Springboks, I mean, they were all running in this way, the ball's there. So then by the time Barry caught it, he just saw space.
Yeah, France was just sitting there having a picnic. He's like, the ball's out. No, it's not.
He's like, oh yeah, the ball's coming back this way, I don't have to run back.
So when Ioane threw that forward pass, he was like, yes, we can scrap it. Thank goodness. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah, so the Springboks just need to learn, okay, we need to jump across now to prevent that.
But I think
we need to tell Willemse, do those things.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. The thing is,
because he can.
What I've realized is, and we saw it Saturday, we put all our effort into defense, and some people will say, oh, our game plan is boring or whatever, but I don't know if I've ever been more pumped watching a defense in my life. It was just those hits that were coming in, I was just there high-fiving people. It was amazing. So all our effort goes into that. So you could see Trevor was spent by about 35 minutes. So that's the one key, is that if you want to attack as well, then you're going to have to find a bit more of a balance, because our defense is the best in the world. And that's why we see more kicking as well, is because there's so much effort that goes into that. It's not just, it's not your usual hang back defense, hope the other team makes a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I think that's what also our fitness is getting to a level that's like inhuman basically. And I also want to say that I think the players took a lot of inspiration from our Blitzbook side. Like, I still want to congratulate them on that win and that amazing Commonwealth Games. It was that final performance was as dominant, well, probably even more dominant than this match on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was just, and the players, it was a similar defense. Like, it looked like absolutely mental how hard they were working on defense.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful.
I think that, like I said, that just gave them that fire as well. Like, yeah, we can also defend this hard.
Yeah, you could have looked at any one of those players and been like, yes, you outperformed yourself.
Yeah,
we could literally name the whole side. It was awesome to see.
Enough about the Springboks now. Now let's go on to the All Blacks. What do you think they lack? Why did it feel so one-sided?
I think the word you're looking for is easy. No, I'm joking. Guys, it's just a joke. Okay. Rucks. They could not contain us at the rucks. I mean, they couldn't even get good ball for themselves. We were stealing their ball. I mean, Marks alone had 4 turnovers. I made a turnover. Guys were eating them alive. Yeah. And the back row of the All Blacks couldn't compete. They couldn't even come close. I mean, Adi Savia, I think, was the only All Black player to get a turnover in that game. And you can argue Sam Kane, captaincy, yada yada yada. But Rucks was a massive point. They couldn't secure ball for themselves. Yeah. And then kicking game as well. Like we said, we were all over them, dominating. Was there anything else you noticed?
To be honest, it just felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do. They just looked like, okay, we're gonna play running rugby. Yeah. They didn't think at no point, like, I've been watching the All Blacks like my whole life, and I know that they considered a very good attacking side, but they're also a side that's very good at kicking and kicking you into corners and putting attacking kicks, and I didn't see that. And also I just thought that for the last couple of years with even the players that would be considered their big boys like Brodie O'Talick and Sam Whitelock, the physicality just isn't there anymore with them. They're getting a bit old, and it looked like we were owning them physically.
Are the All Blacks becoming predictable?
Yeah, they were very predictable on Saturday. Our players knew exactly what they had to do, and our system it looked like we were built to defend them. They were just trying to pass it out wide. They didn't look like in the beginning, maybe they tried to make a few carries up the guts. They got met, and it looked like they didn't want to do that anymore. So they just started passing wide, shouting shit, as we used to call it back in the day. Just no real line breaks, and when they finally did make a good line break from a forward or something like that, for some reason that was one thing that the All Blacks used to do, is there used to be about 4 or 5 players with them, so it felt like as soon as they threw, they're going to go score. Whereas on Saturday you make a line break and there's no one there. That was very weird to see. But I feel like it was just because they were also a bit shocked every time they made a line break. It was like, wow, we actually went more than a meter forward.
Hey, remember, we're trying to get All Blacks fans.
Oh yeah, we love New Zealand, and
they're supposed to be number 2. You could delve into so many aspects of the game. I think, like, if you were simple, like if you took it from a simple perspective and you looked at like one-on-one comparisons, probably every single Springbok player beat their opposite number. You could argue Adi Savia and Jasper, but like I said, Jasper was a bit underappreciated. We didn't notice everything he did.
I mean, Adi Savia ran in full pace, and Jasper has been getting a bit of flack for some reason, mostly from people who don't watch the Premiership, but people in South Africa that don't think he's dominant enough. But I mean, Adi Savia is one of the biggest carriers in the world, ran out in full pace, and he met him on, and he went nowhere. So
who was very quiet in the game, I thought, other than the entire All Black side, was Scott Barrett.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's supposed to be there for the physical side of his play.
Yeah.
And he didn't make any
Yeah, they're talking about him as they want him at 6 and all that. I think he just doesn't fit that role for me.
No, well, if you want physical Akira, he's way more physical.
Yeah, but
and Shannon.
Yeah, but talking about Akira, I mean, all the flaws that have been there that people talk about were there for me on Saturday. He just didn't look like he was working hard enough. He didn't look like he was hitting the rocks like you wanted him to, and he didn't. When there was a line break, he gave that pass that actually wasn't on. If you watch it again, the reason it went forward was because the guy was too flat, and he decided to fling it anyways. Whereas patience in the All Black side was lacking a bit.
Also, he dropped the ball on the last try. 30 degree.
No, wasn't that Brazil?
I'm pretty sure that was you.
Okay,
well, yeah, either way, their back rowers aren't very confident, and they didn't establish themselves in Saturday. Like we were saying with the rucks, they lost the rucks. The ruck battle very convincingly. They need a thorough number 6, sort of like a Francois Lowe kind of, just not to carry the ball, but to make tackles and hit the rucks.
Yeah, I think that's what Sam Kane's supposed to be, but he's not dominant enough because the sides flip around. Like he's basically a South African 7, is Akira 1. Yes. Sam Kane's basically our 6. But then again, we don't really see as not a fetcher, but he still disrupts all the rucks that he can. He's a counter rucker. So and we saw Sam Kane coming close to a steal on Saturday, but he went off his feet.
Yeah, that was a bit rough from the ref.
But yeah, I think it's. I don't think the selection from the All Blacks is right, and I think that's what's frustrating the All Blacks fans the most with Foster. Because I don't think Foster is a terrible coach or anything. I just think that his selections are not good enough. He didn't take the risks. I mean, Rassi, when he took over, he took the risk straight away. Janchi was in, of course he was in first. I mean, he put Erkes Neyman in, all those guys that Alistair Coetzee
benched marks.
Yeah. But Alistair Coetzee just was too scared to use them, whereas I think Foster needs to use his men. He needs to use, if I was Foster, I genuinely believe Patrick Tupulatu is he's the future of All Black locks. He's unbelievably physical, very skilled. He's similar to Brady Retallick in that sense, but he's way more physical currently than Brady Retallick.
But now Foster's found himself in a very difficult position where he's been backing Sam Kane all the way. You know, if he drops him now for this last game, Foster's going to look like an idiot.
He is. Yeah.
He's going to...
No, he can't drop him. It's impossible for him to drop him. The side's got to win with him on the field. And I think he's a very good player, but he's not a main person on the field. He's a person who's just got to get through the donkey work, and he'll be good at that. But unfortunately, there hasn't been a 6 currently, and the locks aren't doing their job other than So Sean, after all that, and the fact that Oxenchair is back in the side, making our scrum probably even better, what do you think is going to happen this week?
It's going to be a better game. I think definitely New Zealand know that they're going to get the same treatment from South Africa. I do think we will still win it.
No.
You know, like I thought last week.
Yeah.
So I would say that even though Ox is back, Dwayne is starting, will probably go off after 30 minutes. Once the Brandewijn sweat starts coming out.
These energy bottles are just going to be Brandewijn and Coke, which is going to just recharge your for a bit.
You're going to see on Saturday, bro. Oaks like Mohab is going to be needing like Vaseline in their hair because Dwayne needs to drink Brandewijn. I hope Dwayne has a bra this weekend just to get the juices flowing, get himself back into it. But I think Springboks, I'm going to say Springboks by 5.
Okay, it's going to be a draw. So I think looking at our team, one thing we didn't mention was Jesse Krill on the wing.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to be. He's not going to be as much of a threat in the air. So I think All Blacks are going to get a bit more ball. And defensively, we're going to have to see how he fits into that system now for the first time this year. But I think just looking at our team, if you look at the bench for the Springboks. It's too strong. Overall, we're just too strong. So I think the only way the All Blacks win this is if they score a try first and get us to doubt ourselves at Ellis Park. You know, just a lot of our players also haven't played at Ellis Park. So it's that's basically such a big desire for them to win there.
But just as big as a desire for us. Ellis Park.
So what I genuinely think is, to be fair, I think we're going to show up similarly to the second test of the British and Irish Lions. The same way we played a very good game in our first game against British Irish Lions. Second game we were even better. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think we're going to be even better. I think the All Blacks are going to be a bit more clinical, kick a few times more to do a bit more damage control. So I think it'll be a similar score, probably 10 points.
10 points in it, or 10 points by the All Blacks?
10 points by us.
Really?
Springboks, I want to say maybe even more, but I'll go 10 points this week because I think they'll kick a bit more and just make it a bit more harder for us to get territory.
Interesting. Very interesting. So we both think that we're going to do a whitewash on New Zealand. After we all thought the Irish-New Zealand series would be a whitewash.
So, and also thinking about the fact this will be the first time we beat the All Blacks 3 times in a row since 2009.
And New Zealand, if they don't win this one, they go 6th.
Something like that.
Because they've won 1 in their last 6 or something. And surely if Fozzie doesn't win this one,
no, he's out.
He's out, but then the whole rugby championship is messed up for New Zealand.
No, I don't think it would be the smartest play to. I think the smartest would to, at the end of the rugby championship, let him go out, let him get a few wins against Australia, Argentina, and then let the new coach come in with his team, his players that he wants to choose. Because the new guy coming in, what can he do? He has the same team. He can't do much. And you guys set up for a bit more of a winning chance at least as well, because they're going up against Argentina and Australia. So.
But that's a whole another argument. We could make a whole another 20-minute video on who should coach the All Blacks next.
Honestly,
But I really hope to see a bit of trust put into Foz. Because we know he's a good coach. He's won. He has one.
No, he's just been an assistant coach.
Really?
Yeah, he's made a final of a Super Rugby apparently, or something, with the club team, but he's never won.
Sorry, it was a bit of a brain fart there. So I would like to see a bit of trust, because you often, like the way sports going, it's just if a coach isn't performing, you sack him straight away without giving a bit of trust. And like John Dobson is a perfect example for the story. It's like we just trusted him for a bit, and then the year later he got a CRC.
Got the right players. And it started clicking for him. So